Yo ho ho, Merry Christmas, and a bottle of rum. This is my Christmas tier list, in which I will determine if a bunch of films that I watched this weekend are Christmassy or not. Now, what makes a Christmas film? I don't know. That's really bright. Hang on. Alright, that's better. So yeah, I have difficulty getting into the Christmas spirit because I live on my own. I'm single, and I don't see the point in putting up a Christmas tree because chances are my cat will tear it down. But I told myself I would give it a try this year, and I watched a bunch of films that I've seen before, some that I haven't seen, and some that I've been told are interesting alternative Christmas films to watch. So, let's begin with Is It Christmassy? A Christmassy Christmas tier list. First on the list are two films which I've been told have to be at the top. I have friends who really do the Christmas thing better than I do, and they told me that these need to go right at the top, so I've created a new tier called Nepotism, and I'm shoving Gremlins and Elf right in the top. I haven't watched these this year. I'm aware of their tradition and reputation as being Christmas films, so they're straight at the top. Next we have Home Alone 1 and 2. Now, I have fond memories of these films when I was younger, and they are definitely Christmas films. They make me feel Christmassy. They have snow, they have family, it's set around Christmas time, and music is, John Williams is on his game in these two films. Just listen to this piece of music that I played on the piano just there. I mean, that's Christmas, right? There's no denying that these are both very Christmassy films. So I'm putting these in the Christmassy tier with capital S's because S tier. Christmassy. It's a shame that there's only 2 films made in the Home Alone series. So I didn't watch anything else because there are no other Home Alone films. Next in the list is a film that I found recommended on Reddit for adult alternative Christmas films. This is A Bad Mum's Christmas.
Between the wrapping, the shopping, the cooking...
Shut up, Meg.
This was terrible. It was definitely a cash grab to try and tie in a film called Bad Mums into Christmas and make a bit more money. But the film is so badly edited, so poorly written, that yes, it felt Christmassy, but it wasn't entertaining to watch. So I'm putting that into C tier because it was terrible, but it was a bit Christmassy. Next is Just Friends, one of my all-time favourite comedies.
I'm busy, stupid dick!
And I often forget that it is a Christmas film. It's set around Christmas. It involves Ryan Reynolds in a fat suit.
You mean more to me than...
Going home after years away to reunite with his family and with a girl that he had a big crush on in school. It's about making amends, and it definitely is a Christmas film for me. For that reason, I am putting this at the A tier. Just because Christmas isn't really the... Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know. No, I'm putting this in Christmassy tier because it is definitely a Christmas film. But I often forget that is a Christmas film. So A tier. So this is a well-prepared tier list, as I'm sure you can tell. Next is a film that I've not seen before until this weekend.
Hey, look, sit down, all right?
It ain't cool being no jive turkey.
Trading Places, which is from the 80s, starring Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. At the time, it was supposed to be one of the best Christmas films and the best comedy films. Having never seen it before, I have no connection to it whatsoever. Coming into it with fresh eyes, I thought it was quite unpleasant. The jokes just didn't work for me.
The stereo is mine free too, huh?
Absolutely.
This is too much for me, man. I can really dig this, Randy. You know why? This kind of thing happens to me every week.
Having to put this very low down because I just didn't enjoy it. and it didn't feel like Christmas at all. New York, Christmas time, sure, but it's been done so much better since, so that is going into not at all Christmassy. Sorry, fans of the film. Maybe if I'd watched it sooner or earlier in my life it would be different. But no, alas, not for me. The next on my list, which I can see is cut off here so you can't see my full list, I'm afraid. But you will do if you keep watching, so I'll put them all in. The next is Black Christmas.
Well, we're just helping the police to look for the killer.
Well, we'd ask you in, you know. But our dog died last night.
Again, one that I found on my list of alternative Christmas films. This is a horror slasher film from the early 70s, I believe, set around Christmas time. I'm not a fan of slasher films, never really given them much time. Like the whole Friday the 13th and Halloween films, never got into them. But this made me want to watch more of them, so I feel like there's a whole genre of films that I've completely dismissed. And it definitely felt dated, it definitely felt like an early 70s horror film. But I did enjoy it.
The caller is in the house. The calls are coming from the house.
For these reasons, I'm going to put this into B. Does the list make sense yet? Is it making sense to you? Because it's not making sense to me. Next is another film that I've not seen before. Didn't realise it was starring Kevin Spacey. Despite that, I thought the dialogue between the couple arguing was quite fun, well written, well acted. The rest of the film was just kind of bland and drawn out. If they focused just on this arguing couple...
Communication is healthy. Healthy? Telling people she dreams of me being castrated Florentined is healthy?
The basic premise of the film is this couple have been taken captive in their own home by a cat burglar, which isn't someone who burgles cats. It's someone who breaks into houses and steals stuff, like cats do, I guess. Yeah, the arguing couple felt a bit Christmassy because couples often argue at Christmas. Families often fall apart and destruction occurs. But this film just wasn't really doing it for me. It wasn't tickling my Christmas fancy. So that's going into not at all Christmassy. And by this point I'm thinking, well, maybe this is part of the thing, is a Christmas film is nostalgia. When you get to become an adult, like I have just recently, it reminds me that Christmas is mainly driven by nostalgia for when you were a child celebrating Christmas. And I don't even remember my childhood Christmases that much. And the best Christmases I've had in the last 10 years or whatever have been with other people's families, experiencing Christmas through their eyes. So I'm sure there are people out there who have fond memories of The Ref and Trading Places and some of these other films, because they watched them when they were younger. But for me, I don't have any connection to these films whatsoever, and trying to view them with fresh eyes just didn't do anything for me. So yeah, not Christmassy, I'm afraid. Next is Bad Santa. Which I have not seen before, although it has been recommended to me. So it should go into the nepotism category. But I didn't realise it was something that had been recommended to me until after I'd watched it for the first time. And I loved it. It was a very adult kind of comedy, which I enjoy. And it made me feel Christmassy in a very sarcastic, black humour sort of way. So Bad Santa is top tier for me. Just below nepotism. Could go in both, but I can't do that on this website, so Christmassy it is. Next is A Charlie Brown Christmas.
George Michael, meanwhile, had just been broken up with by his first girlfriend and was on his way home.
This is a nice little film that I watched when I was younger. I was a big Snoopy Charlie Brown fan. It was Charlie Brown and Garfield. They were my childhood cartoon type things that I used to watch and enjoy the books and things like that. Haven't actually watched this for a while. it has that attachment to me for Christmas, so that goes into the Christmassy tier. Next is Die Hard. Is it a Christmas film?
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
This is the age-old question that is often asked, debated by very important people in Parliament and government-type people and all that. Is it a Christmas film? I don't know, but I know people will be upset with me if I didn't say it was. So I'm going to put that into the nepotism tier. Peer pressure. Like I've been told that this is a Christmas film. I have to respect people's beliefs in this. So that goes up there with Gremlins and Elf. Let me just change that to peer pressure as well. Next is The Green Knight. So yeah, I hope you're impressed by how fast I'm getting through this list, because my last tier list of rave films went on for 40 minutes when I finished editing it. I don't know how it was twice as long as my David Fincher one, but I'm trying to be brief and, you know, push these videos out. So speedrun, basically, this is what this is. Christmas is about speedrunning and getting it over and done with as quickly as possible. So yeah, the next film is The Green Knight. This is a recent film put out by A24, who's my favourite kind of film distributor label people. And this film was directed by the same guy who made A Ghost Story, which is in my top 10 films of all time, of which I'll do a video about at some point. I did not think this was Christmassy when I watched it for the first time a couple of years ago, or last year. Doesn't feel Christmassy whatsoever. Having done some reading about it after the fact, it seems that it is kind of a Christmas film, in that it's about Yule monsters, or, you know, the traditional, before Santa Claus there was other beings and creatures that represented Christmas. But I didn't feel Christmassy at this film in any way, so I'm afraid that it's going into not at all Christmassy. Not saying it's a bad film, it just wasn't Christmas for me. Next is The Apartment. This is a film from 1961, I think.
That's good thinking, Baxter.
A film from 1960. Sorry, I've just done my research. About an apartment that is owned by someone who works for a large corporate firm, who lends out his apartment to his superiors for extramarital affairs set around Christmas time. This is another one of these films that I've never seen before, but has been recommended on various lists on Reddit and things like that, as being a good alternative classic Christmas film. You may know from my previous discussions on films that I'm not a fan of black and white films, but like Black Christmas made me want to watch more slasher horror films, this made me want to give more time to black and white films and classic films like this. It felt to me like a stage play that was now made into a film, which I have a big fondness for those sort of films, and it felt Christmassy in a kind of, it's not about Christmas really, but it is about families. And also it reminded me of Love Actually, which is not on this list, so I haven't watched it yet this year, but I'm going to add it now actually, just because. So yeah, while I'm at it, I'll throw Love Actually up in Christmassy tier. Not much to say about this one, I've not watched it for a while, but it is, yeah, The Apartment reminded me of one of the storylines in Love Actually, which is not necessarily a happy storyline, but that's what Christmas is for me. It's not necessarily a happy time. Not in a bad way, kind of in a bittersweet sort of way. So for this, I'm going to put The Apartment in B tier. I'd like to give it more time. I'd like to watch it again, and I might move it, if I did, maybe up to A. But for now, that's going into B tier. In my completely, you know, makes sense tier list here, this is perfect. This is scientifically accurate tier list. Next in the list is Office Christmas Party. This is one of those ensemble comedies where it stars everyone who can get their hands on, like Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston, many others. And like so many of those ensemble comedies, it was fun at the time, but on watching it again, it's just, yeah, I get it. Dated as soon as you finish watching it, basically. So, Office Christmas Party going into C tier. That's just how it is. You know, we move on. I know you can't see from the video on screen now that more than halfway through, been recording this video for 22 minutes. Really, really hammering through this one. Quite happy with that. Not because I want to get it done quicker, it's just I don't want to keep you waiting. I'm sure you've got other things to be doing with your day. So, I'm pleased. Next on our list of films is Jack Frost. This is not the one you're thinking of, as there is a Christmas film called Jack Frost, which is a happy family kind of film about a snowman, I think. Never seen it, I don't know. This is about a horror film called Jack Frost, which is a very B-movie, what I would consider a terrible film. I think Red Letter Media did a video on this, part of their Best of the Worst series, I'm not sure. If they haven't, then they should do. But this is a film about a scary snowman that murders people and does other despicable things to humans.
I can see your house from up here!
There's a scene involving a carrot in a shower that I remember. And for me, this is a film that I watched with my friends when I was younger. And it definitely feels like Christmas because I have memories of watching it with friends. So this comes back to the whole is it Christmassy question. Is it to do with nostalgia and sentimentality? So for that reason it is very much a Christmas film for me. Not that I'm particularly proud of it. So that is going into my B tier. There's definitely a theme here, isn't there? Horror films and 60s films. Horror films and black and white films. The two that I want to get more into. So if you have any recommendations based on my very strange selection here, do let me know in the comments. Next is no, it's not. Next is White Reindeer. Now, when I was doing a preliminary run of these films for this tier list, I felt like I was treating this one quite unfairly, because it's an independent film. I believe half of the budget came from a Kickstarter project about 10 years ago, and it's definitely an independent film, and I feel like I should give it some slack, because compared to all the other films, maybe apart from Jack Frost, they all seem to be professional studio films. However, White Reindeer is a film about a woman who loses her husband a couple of weeks before Christmas, and she really feels the need to celebrate Christmas, but she has no reason to anymore. It's quite a sad, depressing film, and it has a few humorous moments, but it also involves a swingers party. It didn't really click for me. I wasn't getting the point of this one. So this one is going to be in B tier as well, just based on the fact that it is an independent film and deserves a bit of respect for that. But if I was making a list of Christmas films that are also independent films, this would be quite low down. Not that I can think of any others off the top of my head, but that's where White Reindeer is going. She does a lot of drugs as well, a lot of cocaine, and another video I want to do is a list of drug recreations, like how films recreate or represent the use of drugs. And I thought the constant strobing and the bizarre use of punk rock music didn't remind me of cocaine at all. So yeah, not too fond of this one for a multitude of reasons. Next is Harold and Kumar. They made a Christmas film. It was a Christmas film that was also a 3D film. Quite early on in the film they mention how making 3D films is jumping the shark, like the fad of 3D is done.
Oh my god. Hi. This is a sharp 52-inch Aquos Quadrant TV with state-of-the-art 3D technology that makes Avatar look avatarded.
I don't know, hasn't the whole 3D thing jumped the shark by now?
They're entirely right. This is a film where everyone is demonstrating the use of 3D and making things pop out at the audience like this. And, you know, maybe when watching it in a 3D cinema or on a 3D TV, that would make sense, but watching it now on a non-3D television, it just comes across as really badly edited. Disappointed with this one. I do like Harold and Kumar. I think they're a good guilty pleasure, but this was terrible. But it was a little bit Christmassy, so that's going into my C tier. Yeah, sorry Harold and Kumar. Didn't work, and I think that was the last film they made. Probably for a good reason. Next is Better Watch Out.
Want to put her in the mood? Watch a horror movie. Dude, she's like twice our age. I really don't think it's gonna happen.
Fairly recent horror film. I was expecting this to be terrible, just based on horror films don't really make good Christmas films. But was pleasantly surprised by this one. It was an entertaining film. I'm very glad I watched it, and I'd like to watch it again when I'm not ranking Christmas films. So I think this was quite a well-made film, especially the performances. Again, child actors playing serious roles doesn't usually work for me. Or should I say younger actors? I don't know how old the actors were in this film. But yeah, Better Watch Out. Very, very quick and easy. A. But was it Christmassy? Yeah, I'd say it's Christmassy. It made sense as a Christmas horror film. So that goes into A for me. Next is Why Him? This is a James Franco, Bryan Cranston type comedy about a girl who brings her boyfriend to meet the family, or brings the family to meet the boyfriend for Christmas.
Steffi opened up like a flower. You should have seen it.
I shouldn't have seen it, but now I feel like I have.
Kind of like Meet the Parents, which is Meet the Parents a Christmas film? Oh, I don't know. Thinking about it, it probably is. Or it could be. Anyway, Why Him? Where a film like Office Christmas Party failed, I like James Franco films. I like these sort of awkward comedy films. It wasn't so much of an ensemble cast as Office Christmas Party. So that is also going into A tier, next to Just Friends. That's my kind of comedy. I like these sort of... Just Friends is a bit more slapstick, a bit more silly. But Why Him? I just really enjoyed it. It was what I wanted to watch for a Christmas film. And speaking of, we have The Night Before. Very drug-fueled comedy, as you'd expect from a Seth Rogen film. But it also ties in with Christmas quite well. There's the stories of like Christmas past, Christmas future, all that stuff. So The Night Before is a very easy A for me as well. So I think from this you kind of get an idea of what I would consider a Christmas film. We definitely have the usual Home Alone, Love Actually kind of films, and then just below that are not so Christmassy, but I enjoy watching them around Christmas. Just Friends, definitely a highlight for me. I think maybe the rest of them are not that surprising, but please do let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of this. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, and if you've got any other ideas for films that you think I might enjoy that I've not included on this list. There's still, 2 weeks before Christmas? Just under 2 weeks now. So I've got plenty of time to get caught up on those. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this very, very quick tier list video. I hope it was quick. I've not edited it yet. Give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Don't if you didn't. That's fine. But if you did and want to see more of my content, please do. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.